Game 3 of the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League Ontario Finals brings us back to the Niagara region in St. Catharines, Ontario, home of the Athletics, taking on the Whitby Warriors. Hello lacrosse fans and welcome inside Canada Games Park here in St. Catharines, Ontario, as we get set for Game 3 of the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League OJLL Finals between St. Catharines and the Whitby Warriors. Lucas Arger alongside Keelan Pilon live on the OJLL YouTube channel. Keelan, it was a back and forth affair in Game 1. St. Catharines coming out on top 7-4. Last night a barn burner taking us all the way to double overtime, where it was ultimately the Warriors that tied this series up at 1 apiece. Give us your quick thoughts here tonight.
Been a battle through two games, right? Obviously game 1 and 2 were very close. Last night really emotional, so we're going to see how each team responds after such a long emotional game like that. Both goalies so far dynamite. Obviously brothers, thought Ty and Cooper were both fantastic last night. Who has the legs in them still after last night? It's going to be really exciting. Definitely
it is. It's always hard playing on the second half of a back-to-back, so it's going to come down to the mental aspect. I'm sure fatigue is playing a factor here tonight, but we'll see who comes out on top. Starting goalies, of course, are the Wilson brothers. Down to our right, it's going to be Cooper coming into this game with the 9-2 record, 6.33 GAA and 8.34 save percentage. For Ty, 9-2, 7 GAA, 8.48 save percentage. We're underway from Canada Games Park. And first possession belonging to the Athletics in their light blue jerseys with dark blue shoulders and navy lettering. The Warriors in their traditional blues with red lettering and striped shoulders, going right to left on your screen. As the Athletics get it with 12 on the shot clock, it's Errol Booth. Send it down now to the captain, Zach Toll. Here's Lucas Rosen shot. Cooper Wilson makes his first save of the evening. He's going to leave it there for Reese Hunick. And Whitby's going to get their first chance on offense here tonight. Here's Max Weatherup. Blake Mason along with Matthew Ford are the two lefties. Here's Matthew Suter. Looking for a lane. Here's Blake Mason. Takes a bit of a whack. Ball gets down loose on the turf. 5 on shot clock. Mason tried to flip it back to Ford. Doesn't connect, and away and running with it for the Athletics, it's Teoni Galante.
You know, Lucas, I think tonight first goal is going to be really big. I think after last night, such a long game, that early momentum could be a big movement in this game.
No doubt about that, and Jamison Bucktooth certainly has the key to get that going, as that shot from Wilson goes off of him and into the netting. Athletics get it back here with Isaiah Paul taking control. Here's Trent Meridian trying to find Bucktooth. 15 left on shot clock. Shot, scores! Bucktooth to Isaiah Paul, and he goes 5-0 on Cooper Wilson. Quickly 1-0 Athletics.
That's an impressive two-man game there, right? And it starts with Bucktooth, who's been the catalyst all year long for the A's. And I think what happens here is Whitby kind of gives him a little extra attention here, right? You're obviously going to go to 44 more. The rookie Paul comes inside, gets a big one there early. I think they just slide to Bucktooth. Bucktooth unselfishly finds Paul on the inside.
Something he does so well is shooting the ball and IQ on the lacrosse floor, and that's what Bucktooth does to find Paul on that one. Aiden Urbach and Simon Marshall back to the face-off dot, and it's going to be a draw win for the Warriors. For the moment, Ryder Haynes able to stay on the offensive half of center, not get shoved over. Large crowd settling in here at Canada Games Park, as we had a large one last night in Whitby due to the Ontario Lacrosse Festival. Here's Matthew Ford. Shot, that goes off a body, and going to be a shot clock violation here as the buzzer sounds. Getting our lineup changes here quickly. Keelan, Owen Bartley, Michael Welsh, and Levi Roast are your scratches for the Athletics. And on the Warriors side, Zach Tucker, Cam Monders, Jackson Wilkinson, and Trayson Stewart. Here's Toll. Going to leave it for Paul. The goal scorer gives it to Rosen. He's got 10 left on the shot clock now. Finds Zach Toll. Inside. Shot! Scores! Blake Berard pops into the middle and rips that one home. 2-0 Athletics.
So you want to talk about secondary scoring early. You got two rookies, both their first year in junior hero, obviously getting on the board quick. Paul and Berard, two of the, I'd say, unsung heroes on this team here. Catches it on the inside, buries it low on the left side there of Wilson, takes a hit to make a play. That's Berard in a nutshell.
Definitely. When you have players that are willing to go to the middle, and you kind of said it, Keelan, the unsung heroes, maybe not the guys that get the spotlight on them or get the most attention, but they are assets nonetheless. And speaking of assets, Aiden Urbach's been a great one for the Warriors this year, being their #1 face-off man as he gets another draw win. And over to Hewitt. He's being pressured along the boards by Galante. Haynes comes in to find it, and he's able to get it to Proctor. Mason gonna send it far side for Bryson Lamoureux. Trying to spin underneath. Shot, that just misses, and Ty Wilson had it for a second. He hit it. And that's, officials are gonna say that's a shot clock violation, as your crew here tonight is a good one that are all three NLL officials. Kyle Coulter is your crew chief. He's working alongside Simon D'Souza and John Vandergiesen. Berard almost had that, but that gets taken away from Owen Tuvell. He's going to get it up ahead for Darius Jones, who can't handle it, and now it's going to be a big hit coming. We're going to have a penalty coming here to Jones as that pass goes over the head of Bucktooth, and as Barrett picks it up, we're going to get one coming to Jones, and that's going to be the game's first power play going to St. Catharines.
So once again here, the rookie again drawing a penalty. Blake Berard just working for a loose ball. Kind of takes it right. It looks like he goes a little of the top of the shoulder right to the head. D'Souza puts the arm up right away there, and A's are going to go to a power play and look to build an early 3-0 lead.
First power play of the night for the Athletics. It's going to be quarterbacked by #2, Zach Toole, to Bucktooth. Dances, shoots, save from Cooper Wilson. Ball loose in the corner, gets picked up by Ryder Haynes. He gets it away to Hewitt over the center line. Leaves it for Ford. Bucktooth staying down on offense for a moment, but he will go off for a line change. Weather up. 10 on shot clock now. Here's Shea Hunick making his junior A appearance. Backdoor feed for Ford. Well done by the rookie. The U17 call-up just coming off the Ontario Summer Games. He tried to get on the stat sheet early, but Ty Wilson able to make sure Matthew Ford does not bury one on him. A minute remaining in the Darius Jones minor infraction. Booth. Bucktooth playing pass up top. Here's Toll. They're going to switch. Bucktooth looking. He's got Toll up top. Back to Bucktooth. Turns, shoots, that goes off a body. They're going to say it hit Wilson, so that'll be a reset. As Ryder Haynes does pick it up eventually. He's trying to run, gets past Booth, gets past Toll, and he quickly gets it over to Jack Moores. Former Athletic. Was drafted by this team in 2023 and then traded to Whitby a couple of years later in the offseason as Ryder Haynes tries to go 1-on-2 with his players. Gives it now down to Moores. He's got 5 on shot clock. Gives it down for Suter. Tries to get to Mel. He turns, fires. That's going to miss, and shot clock will expire. So about 10 seconds remaining here on the Jones infraction.
Lucas, really impressed with Ryder Haynes from Whitby here. I know you've been watching him all year long. Just those last couple shifts going up and down, breaking out the ball. I think he's a key part of this team, but the way he's been starting this game, really impressive. Definitely. He's a big body out there, not afraid to be physical. And speaking of physicality, that was a good play right there from Urbach as we're back to 5-on-5. That shot goes off a body right there. Toll tries to get one back. Not going to happen as his shot sails over the net and going to roll right near the Athletics bench. So here's Matthew Ford with it. We've played 6 minutes of action here. Shots on goal 6-1 in favor of St. Catharines as they scored 2 quick early markers. There's Shea Hunick with a shot. That just misses. Rebound controlled by Jared Cook. Up ahead quickly to Artie Stainhouse. We know he can run in transition. Not afraid to score. He takes a shot right there. Saved by Wilson. Loose ball in the corner. There's Reese Hunick. Up ahead. Here's Tuvell.
Gonna leave it behind for Darius Jones. He's not afraid to rip it, but he'll leave it here for the offense. Suter. Weatherup gets knocked down as he's being heavily defended by Galante. Suter, 12 on shot clock, 1-on-1. Trying to get around his guy. He goes underneath. Suter shoots. Save from Ty Wilson. Way ahead and running with it was Andrew Scarlett.
So there's the chances for Whitby. I think a little bit of a slow start. Now they're getting to the net. Suter there really on a nice drive. Ty Wilson has the answer here, but I like how they're starting to settle into the game now after that penalty.
That's a shot from Errol Booth in tight. Doesn't connect, and Justin Hewitt's going to do his best to try and just muck the ball as it's down on the turf. Shot clock does eventually go, and that's going to be a violation against the Athletics. So probably a good opening 5 minutes for the Athletics. Probably not the best opening 5 for the Warriors as they find themselves down 2. Now Whitby's trying to change as Ryan Proctor takes a shot. Goes right into the A of Ty Wilson. Pass up ahead for Cook, and he's going to leave it here for the offense in Berard. Down low for Paul. Here's Bucktooth. Bucktooth might have a lane. Goes back to Paul. Shot. Save from Cooper Wilson. Loose ball down there on turf. Look out. Here comes Owen Lee. Big hit. We're going to get a whistle here as an Athletics player went through the crease. So that's going to be a turnover here. It's something Whitby's done the past couple possessions. Keelan is causing turnovers, whether it's shot clock violations, ball out of play through the crease. They're doing very well after a shaky opening 5.
Yeah, and I think if you're at home and you just don't know some of these guys yet, number 51 on Whitby, watch him play defense, Owen Lee. He is disrupting everything. He's a big body, and he just threw about 3 in that last possession around.
Yeah, he did. And speaking of defense, that was a good play right there from Simon Marshall to block that shot. Unfortunately, it does go out of play, so the Warriors will get the ball back. Suter trying to find Proctor on the inside, and he does. Great defensive effort from Xavier Peters, who slots into the lineup tonight for Levi Roast. But an errant turnover right there. I believe that was Scarlett that was unable to find an Athletics player down floor. So now here come the Warriors. Lamoureux to Shea Hunick. Hunick trying to dip. Dangle trying to find Ford backdoor, and he does for a moment, but Wilson able to make that save. That's now twice Hunick has found Ford on the crease, just can't beat number 48.
I want to say that's 3 times in a row, too. The righties for Whitby have gotten underneath on the A's defense, which I know Coatsy will be on him as well as Lordy, but that is something now they're starting to find success with, and the slide was coming early there, which allowed that one more pass. Big save.
If you are watching at home and you don't know who Dan Coates and Ian Lord are, you might want to open up a textbook or a novel, or maybe just Google them, because not only are they St. Catharines legends around here, but they're also longtime NLL players, as we should also congratulate Ian Lord on just announcing his retirement from the NLL. A heck of a career for Ian Lord. Now down the stretch here, here's Lita Weatherup, shot off the post. What a great look from Lee to find Weatherup, but here comes back the other way. Ford trying to get past Cook. Ball still loose down there on the turf. Suter's going to come in and help. Cook tried to kick it away. Suter tried to find it. That's going to be a reset, as it did go off the post and nobody had picked it up. And now getting it across the timeline, it's Liam Hackett. Drawing back into the lineup tonight for Zach Tucker. Here's Blake Mason. He's got 15 on the shot clock. We'll give it to Weatherup. Inside feed, look for Ford, doesn't connect. Mason picks it up. Shot, save from Wilson. Ford gets it back. Great shoulder stop right there. Third possession coming up here for the Warriors as Suter finds it. Swings it to Hunick. And now Weatherup has it. 20 on the shot clock for Whitby. Here's Mason, giving it right back to Suter. Wires got crossed there between Weatherup and Suter. Shea Hunick comes in to find it. Being tracked down by Ari Stainhouse. Tough job. Here comes Stainhouse. One-on-one against Blake Mason. Trying to get past him. Not going to work. Might still have a lane to the net. He's going to try it. Still try and shoot. Scores!
So this is Ari at his best. He's a transition absolute beast right now, and he's really patient with this one here too. Wins the loose ball, takes off. He's got crazy speed. He's the most athletic guy on the floor, arguably. Waits, and he just doesn't force it. Has a couple chances to shoot, doesn't force it. Finally takes a shot and finds the 5-hole on Cooper Wilson. That's a big goal.
When you're able to get opportunities in transition and get the green light, coaches aren't going to say no. And when you're someone like Stainhouse, a year of pro lacrosse makes all the difference when you're able to come back into junior.
Absolutely massive for him, right? Like you said, and been watching Ari a lot of my life, and that's just something he's always been good at. He's so good in transition, just unstoppable. Really, all the Steinhouses are. But that's a big goal for Ari and the A's, and that's a juice goal, as they call it.
Of course, Ari and his younger brother Reef Steinhaus, their older brother Ty, getting set underway tonight in their playoffs. With the Oakville Rock. Back the other way, here's Aiden Urbach. Trying to get it to Proctor. That got knocked down. Stick gets knocked out of the hands of Scarlett. Turnover against the Athletics. Here's Lamoureux. If you're Whitby, getting a goal here now to stop the bleeding would definitely be beneficial in their favor. Proctor, Lamoureux. Ford sets the pick. Lamoureux may have a lane, doesn't find it, so he finds Weatherup. Back to Ford, tries to go underneath, gonna give it back, needs to get a shot off, and he does quickly. Ty Wilson never saw it, somehow it's still under him. And I think that's one of those shots, if you're a goalie, you just hope and praise that it hits you and stays out, and Ty Wilson able to keep that one on the proper side of the goal line, if you ask him.
It was a bit of a sneaky release to me. It looked like he didn't have a shot, found it over the top.
Look out, as that was a big hit on the back of, I believe that was Bucktooth from Hackett, and then he blocks that shot there. Two good defensive plays from Liam Hackett on that possession, and he's going to stay in play here as him, Mason, and Lamoureux are the three lefties. Here's Weatherup and Shea Hunick, the two righties. Weatherup to Shea Hunick. Being defended by Ari Steinhaus. Lamoureux, he's got 10 on shot clock. Shot, Wilson makes that save.
Ty's been good so far, right? Ty, Cooper's letting a couple in. Obviously, he's been very steady still, but Ty right now, he's the difference. Just like last night where he kind of held the minute and let them get a lead, but like we saw last night, there's no lead safe in this series.
No, there is not. We saw that last night when the Athletics had a 4-goal advantage and somehow Whitby mounted a comeback in the third period and then won it in double overtime. Owen Lee with it. He will pull it out and wait for the offense to get on the floor, as here's Matthew Ford. Him and Lamoureux pay a little give and go. Back door was Weatherup cutting. Far side here, Suter. Suter, shot. That hits Wilson and going to cause a reset. Shea Hunick that was Proctor able to find it. Lamoureux gets it back, tries to go underneath. Tried to flip it to Ford, doesn't work. Here's Lamoureux spinning and dicing. Suter. Trying to find a lane to the net. Hard to penetrate the Athletics defense. Ford trying to go underneath Peters. Weatherup, runner's wrong side. Shoot! Goes off the shoulder of Wilson and up and out of play. If you're Whitby, you'd love a goal, but what you need is to try and wear down the St. Catharines defense here. And they're trying to do that, but that's not going to work as Galante comes in and knocks over Weatherup. Ball loose down there on the turf. Pass outstretched for Ari Stainhouse. One-on-one against Tuvell. Stainhouse versus Tuvell. Tries to muscle his way in, and Wilson makes that save. Steinhouse still on it now. Here comes Berard in to try and help him. Evan Barrett's trying to get it back for Whitby. Ball loose on the turf. Tuvell is still in there, along with James Jemnet. Here comes Darius Jones. Steinhouse somehow gets it back. What a great individual effort from 93.
That is a loose ball for the ages behind the net. That's Lee and Steinhaus, two big boys. Berard's in there. That's about a 15-second loose ball that he's come out with.
5 seconds left now for the Athletics. Booth needs to get a shot off. He's going to step in, hits the leg pads of Wilson, Evan Barrett able to find it, and he's going to flip it over to Hunick. He's being pressured. That's something we're seeing more and more from the Athletics, is they're not allowing Whitby to get clean transitions out of their zone, and when you only have 8 seconds, if you cause them to waste 2 or 3 of them, that can make all the difference.
Yeah, it's huge, especially that possession. A couple of the D guys were on there. It looked like Steinhaus and Marshall still on, so they're going to put a full press on when they're on the floor.
Here's Shea Hunick. Inside feed for Proctor, can't handle it. Ty Wilson comes out and scoops that one up, and he gets it over for Sutter Pilon. Jaden Kennedy, far right side, leaves it for Zach Toll, who'll take the return feed. Rozon. Down low, Paul, inside for Bucktooth, can't handle it. 5 on shot clock now, here's Toll. Gonna try and find an angle, walk to the middle, shoot, scores!
It's a big goal here for the captain, right? Kind of had a similar shot like this last night. Thought he ended it in overtime early. Great offside pick from Bucktooth there, and he just gets over the top. Whitby doesn't step up enough, and I think he gives Toll, he's about 10 feet from the net there. He's going to bury that about 50% of the time.
When you're able to get anywhere within the 24 dotted foot line, that we know doesn't really make a difference anymore in minor, junior, or senior lacrosse, but anytime you're in that area, you don't want to be if you're a defender, because you know that offensive guy is just going to rip it.
No, absolutely not, and especially with a guy like Toll and Bucktooth, like those are the guys you really don't want in that area.
Whitby found themselves in this position last night, managed to mount the comeback. If you're St. Catharines, you hope that you can hang on to this 4-goal lead. There's great pressure from Suter here on Scarlett. Ball still loose down there on the turf. Whitby trying to knock it over. And popping into the stick, it's Ryder Haynes who finds that one. Leaves it for Weatherup. Far side now here for Hewitt. 3 minutes to play in the opening 20 in a packed barn here at Canada Games Park. Lucas Arger and Keelan Pilon with you on the OJLL YouTube channel. Matthew Ford trying to go underneath Jack Winarski. Weatherup being defended by Steinhaus. Here's Shea Hunick. Shoots. Save from Ty Wilson. That was a great look from Whitby. Hunick might have been able to take a further step or two, but remember, first Junior A game ever here tonight for Shea Hunick, and I'm sure he and his brother Reese were talking on the bus ride down about the ins and outs of Junior A lacrosse. Rozon, 15 on shot clock, being defended by Lee. Trying to find an opening, he can't. Now he does, over to Arrow Booth. Tries to get underneath Evan Baird. He does. Wilson makes that save. Owen Tuvell able to pick that up. He might run a little bit. He's got Weatherup with him. Owen Lee, shot! Save from Ty Wilson. Down the floor, Zach Toll might be an option, but the defense for Whitby able to get out there as Evan Barrett popped out of the D door.
I think I'd like to see that a little from Whitby. A little more transition push. I feel like the A's been getting out in transition the last couple games a little more. I think if Whitby can start pushing, it's a big benefit.
Rozon shoot, scores! Big outside rip from number 22, and the lead is now 5 for the Athletics. Berard. Excuse me, that was Blake Berard with the rip.
So this is a late one here. It's almost a bench seal like from Kennedy, but I think they just get lost. He doesn't even have to set the seal. They just follow Kennedy, and it allows Blake to kind of sneak in the back. And there's the emotion he's always had, and that's, you know, the A's are rolling here early.
We can see down now, so we're going to get a goaltending change here for Whitby. First of the finals that we've had. So Lincoln Lawrence is now coming into this game. So Lawrence in these playoffs hasn't seen a lot of action, but he has seen enough.
So Lucas, if I was a betting man, Lawrence will play the last minute 45 here, and you'll see Cooper Wilson drop back up for the second period. Maybe just a breather for him to reset.
Lawrence has only started one game, and that was an overtime loss in the Brampton series. So he comes in with an 0-0-0-1 record, 8.66 GAA, and an 8.29 save percentage. Blake Mason goes in net and scores. So Whitby able to get one back to stop the bleeding as Mason goes airborne far side, and the Warriors are on the board.
So this is the life Whitby needed here, right? Your goalie just got pulled. How do you pick up a goalie who just got pulled? Well, you respond with a goal right away and let him know that you got his back. And right here, it's a great little flip there to the dive far side. Really hard to cover. And that's just a great job of, picking your goalie up there of like, hey, hasn't gone your way, but we also have 0. So time to pick him up.
Definitely, when you find that things aren't really going your way and you need a change, who is going to step up and do that? And it might be Lawrence in net, might be Mason with a goal, and we still have 90 seconds left. If you're Whitby and you're able to get another, that would make all the difference. Running in transition, here's Haynes. He'll flip it back for Justin Hewitt. Whitby would love to get another one here as we approach the final minute here inside Canada Games Park for Game 3 of the OJLL Finals. Here's the goal scorer, Mason. Gets the pick from Ford. Now to Weatherup. Being defended by Reef Stainhouse. Weatherup. He's got 3 on the shot clock. Weatherup trying to body his way in. Gets his hands free. Shot. Just missed the net, and that's going to be a shot clock violation here. And Jared Cook is going to leave it, and you can hear the officials telling him to pick up the ball to blow play in. So here's Meridian being defended by Hewitt. Here's Toll against Tuvel. Toll, shoot! Lawrence makes that save. Moores comes in to corral that. We're going to get a whistle here as Whitby is going to use their first period timeout here. Maybe calm things down a little bit, put Lawrence on the bench potentially. Shot clock and game clock are about 5 seconds apart, but it's been a dominant 20 minutes. Blake Mason able to stop the bleeding a little bit here.
Yeah, I think interesting timeout here right now because, like you said, there's a 5-second difference in the clock. So if you're Whitby, how do you balance? Do you pull the goalie? I expect him to stay in the net because you're probably shooting it with about 3 or 4 on the shot clock, which leaves 7 or 8 seconds on the game clock. That's a lot of time to get down the floor and throw it in the empty net. What you could also see here is you start 6-on-5. Whoever sets that pick might run off the second he sets it just to get the goalie back in. So it forces the defense into a house. This is a big spot for momentum here to me.
Do you expect Whitby to maybe go for a 2-for-1, go for a quick shot, get the rebound, then pull Lawrence and go 6-on-5?
That would be real tough. I think the timeout to me kind of signals that they're going to use the clock. I think actually the A's went for the 2-for-1 there with the quick shot. If they can get a quick one and get it back, I'd be interested. But like you said, they're going to start with Lawrence out, it looks like right now. So we'll see what happens.
So it's going to be Weatherup that starts it as the 6 attackers are Suter, Proctor, Mason, Ford, Lamoureux, and Weatherup. On the defensive side, it's going to be Pilon, Galante, both Steinhauses, and Wonarski. So Weatherup's probably going to wait until there's about 6 or 7 left on the shot clock before they will start their play. As they're just going to wait around here for a little bit. 10 now left on the shot clock. And they're going at 6. Weatherup, Mason to the bench, behind the net. Pass intended for Ford, backdoor doesn't work. Proctor tries to shoot, but doesn't work, and that's going to be a shot clock violation. 4 seconds left. Down the floor, Reef Stainhouse, one-on-one against Lawrence. Lawrence makes that save to come up huge, and the clock will run out. What a turn of events. Whitby with a chance down at one end. Wilson makes that save. Stainhouse going one-on-one against Lincoln Lawrence, and he's able to make it that save. That could have been costly on either side in the final 35 seconds.
Yeah, that's crazy there, and that's why you do send the guy to the bench early to get Lawrence back in, because like we said, if that doesn't happen, there's an empty netter for the A's, and there goes your little momentum. So a great first period here and a little wacky finish. Shots
on goal after one period are 19 to 13, showing in-house here in favor of the Athletics, and it's also going to show that they are up 4 goals after one period, as it's 5-1 here between the Athletics and the Warriors. As you're watching Game 3 of the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League Finals here on the OJLL YouTube channel. We'll be back with the second period in about 9 minutes. Second period of Game 3 of the OJLL Finals here from Canada Games Park, just set to get underway. It was a dominant performance in the opening 20 from the Athletics, getting out to a 5-1 lead here. Keelan, let's take a look at how it happened and what transpired in that opening period.
Yeah, first goal of the game here, right? Bucky goes underneath, finds Paul on the inside, just a little finish. That's a fifth year right to a rookie, you love that. And then this goal here, 58 seconds after the first goal, so they go back to back. And another rookie finds it. He gets lost there kind of in the muck, comes around, takes a hit, makes the play. And then it's Ty Wilson here, right? Ty Wilson with a hot start, been great, down to Cooper. The brothers kind of trading blows like they have all series long. Right back to Ty getting down. Whitby is having success getting to the crease here, as you can see. But Ty has been the answer besides that one time, right? Once again, Cooper. It's a bit of the Wilson show, right? A little bit so far. Both of them really standing on their heads. That's a great one more save here. Ty's gotten much better this year. I feel like going cross crease, whether up off the post in transition, almost like that goal he had last night. And as you can see, Ty Wilson's had a couple of those this series where he makes a save, finds a rebound, makes another save, and it's just impressive. Here's the Harvey Steinhaus goal. It's just the speed and strength that he has. And like you said, that experience in the NLL, it's almost that you can see it oozing off from here. He's patient, finds the spot, doesn't force it too early. It's his bread and butter, really, at the end of the day. Another big save for Wilson, finding Bucktooth on the inside. A lot of chances on the crease this period. And then we go find the other way again. This is a loose ball here. Watch Bucktooth. He doesn't go back to his side. He stays and sets that seal. A lot of times lefties like to get back to their side. He's got the IQ to stay in that one spot. Big chance here for Whitby. Another stop. And then here's the one that I think we talked about intermission. Cooper Milson might want this one back, right? Ty gets it. It's right through that awkward spot in the armpit for a goalie here. That's tough to sometimes get to. And then finally here, Whitby gets it back right away with the crease dive. And that was a huge goal. I know it's still 5-1, but to get one in a period, even when you were down 5-0, is huge for momentum still.
Yeah, it definitely is. And speaking of momentum, Whitby's going to see if they can continue it as they scored late in that period. We do see Lawrence is staying in net. So Cooper Wilson on the bench here for now.
Yeah, maybe a little surprised by that, Lucas. I mean, they clearly trust their backup goalie, which is a great thing. I just thought, Cooper's been so good for all year for them.
It's definitely tough when you're playing on the second half of a back-to-back, and we also got to remember, both Cooper Wilson and Lawrence are both 08 grad years. Ty Wilson is 2 years older than them and wins the Minto Cup last year. So Ty's kind of used to this. This is kind of the first go-around here for Cooper, so definitely a bit of a learning opportunity here. What's not a learning opportunity is Ari Steinhaus running in transition to pick up a loose ball. He's been doing that since his novice days.
Yeah, he's been doing that his whole life. Like I said, all the Steinhaus has always just been loose ball demons. They just pick up everything that comes their way.
Here's Reese Unick defending Bucktooth. Now to Toll. He's got 10 on shot clock. Inside shot. Save from Lawrence. As I believe that was Rozon that fired that one. Now Reese Unick is going to stay out here. He will stay and play. Lamoureux along the near boards. Going to swing it to Weatherup. Going to get the pick here from Huna. Gives it back to Lamoureux, trying to go underneath. He's got Matthew Ford. Ford, shot, goes off Wilson. Picked up here. We're gonna get a loose ball push behind the play. Believe Simon D'Souza signaling out to another Simon, and Marshall going against him. So Whitby may have caught a break. St. Catharines maybe not too pleased with that one. As here's Lamoureux. Trying to go underneath his defender. He's got 15 over the top. Shot. That sails wide. Might end up in the Whitby bench, and it's going to end up in the Whitby penalty box instead. And Sutter Pilon is going to stay and pick that one up. He gets a quick way ahead out to Jaden Kennedy. So a couple of good looks for Whitby beginning of this middle frame. We also got to mention it, Keelan. It's the middle frame, which means long chains transition. We know both teams like to run in transition. Who will benefit from it the most here tonight?
Yeah, I think transition goals change a game. When they're not from your superstars or they're not from your old guys, you get 2 or 3 goals from transition guys, that changes the game. Because now 10 feels like the magic number in this series. Now your old guys need to get 7 if you get 3 of those, right? So it's huge.
Suter to Ford. Mason trying to set the pick for him. and he takes one up high. Mason's going to draw a penalty here. Ford's got 5 on the shot clock, and the clock is going to run out. Shot clock's going to go, and we're going to get a penalty coming here. Believe it's going to be against Galante, and signal on the floor was a slashing infraction.
Yeah, it looked like, couldn't really tell initially what happened there, but let's see what Galante gets him here. Gets the stick right up, almost like a little, not a spear, but the top of the stick there just kind of rides up on the player there, and that's an easy call for D'Souza for 2 minutes.
Whitby gets their first power play of the game. That gets picked off by Jack Winarski. Trade deadline acquisition from the Toronto Beaches. Winarski is going to try and find some help, and he does in Ari Steinhaus. Along the near board, it's Kennedy. 5 on shot clock now. Here's Reef Steinhaus. Might walk to the middle, and he does. Tries to get a shot up, but that goes up into the netting and out of play. Right idea from Reef Steinhaus to take that one on net. Especially late in the shot clock while you're killing a penalty. If you get the rebound, great. If not, no harm, no foul. As you know, the penalty kill unit was already back, changed behind you.
Yeah, and Reef's one of those guys who has played a lot of offense in the past, especially in minor, so not a guy you worry about taking that shot at all.
Ryan Proctor to the middle. Shot. Goes off the stick of Wilson, I believe. Or sorry, doesn't. Not going to say that's a reset. Suter shot. That bouncer does hit Wilson as Proctor comes in against Pilon. Loose ball in the corner. Proctor comes away with it. Secondary possession coming out here for the Warriors. 40 seconds remaining in the penalty to Galante. Ford, Weatherup. 15 on shot clock. Proctor's the man behind the net. He's got Ford. Now Weatherup walks in, shoots. That just whistle wide. Proctor tries to find it. Comes around the top. Tries to find Weatherup on the inside. Shoots. Net is off. Wilson makes that save, and Winarski able to come away with that loose ball. What a chance Weatherup had right on top of the crease.
Yeah, what a wild possession there that was. The net's off, a couple of loose balls. Ty Wilson stands tall still, but Weatherup, not the guy you want in that position, I think, if you're St. Catharines. Only a matter of time, I think, before he finds it.
When in doubt, you call on your big players and big moments, and Weatherup may be called upon here tonight. But for now, it's going to be Galante out of the penalty box, 5 on 5. That's save from Lawrence. It hit him and gets trapped in his equipment. Owen Tuvell coming up with the ball now over the A's logo. That's in the middle of the turf here at Canada Games Park. Here's Blake Mason. He's going to find Suter. Here comes Shea Hunig with the pick. Suter to Shea Hunig. Walks in front. Shoots off the iron. Does that hit the post? Loose ball down there on the goal line. Somehow stays out as Vandergiesen is waving that one off. Phil Weatherup not happy as he's voicing his opinion about it. Play continues. Here's Bucktooth back the other way. Being defended by Owen Lee. He'll shovel it over to Errol Booth. Errol Booth walks to the middle. Shot. That gets blocked. Loose ball down there on the turf. Evan Barrett's going to run with it. Barrett versus Wilson. Barrett comes down. Shoots. That just whistled wide. Going to roll over the center line as that just missed. And a great opportunity from Barrett. Unfortunately turns into a turnover. If you're the Athletics, you just caught a big break there.
Huge break, and I think the momentum's actually turning a little bit. Still 5-1. Whitby's had the last, I'd say, 4 to 5 legit chances here. Just need to bury one now on Wilson.
Bucktooth tries to go for the crease side, doesn't work as he's in. That's going to be no goal as Bucktooth was still laying in the crease. He didn't get out in time, so a great individual effort there by, I believe that was Isaiah Paul. Does not work out in the Athletics' favor, but man, what a goal that could have been.
Yeah, that's a pretty one that doesn't count, but as you know, when Bucktooth's lying in the crease, that can't be allowed, but that is a pretty one.
Lamoureux, outside shot. Wilson makes that save up high a little bit. He's going to send it all the way down the length of the floor. Reef Steinhaus in on it as that went off his stick. He's then going to pass it to brother Ari. And the other Steinhaus tie is currently in the middle of his first playoff game tonight between the Oakville Rock and Peterborough Lakers on Flow Sports for Major Series happening at the track right now. Loose ball pops into the Whitby crease, and Lawrence able to get a stick on it. Bit of a track meet now, Keelan. Transition game starting to come into effect, but more importantly, might be the storyline tonight as it was last night, is broken play, secondary possessions. Who is going to capitalize on them the most? Here's Ford. Might have a lane to the net, turn, shoot, scores!
So that's a pretty one there. I think that was Ford cutting to the inside. First one here, we do get a chance there. This is the one that did not count, where Bucktooth's line in the crease. That's a gorgeous goal. But then here we go. Here's where Ford gets set up. He kind of gets Rose on it, so gets an O guy. That's a time to go if you're Matt Ford, and he does, gets the jab step. Rozon has no stick in his hands, nothing. You give an O guy that time and space, most of the time they're going to be able to find one there.
Especially when it's an offensive player such as Ford, between his quick feet, shiftiness, agility, footwork as well. It's hard to keep up with him if you're a defender, as he does such a good job at evading those guys.
Right, it's the guys with the quick jab sets. When you're an O guy who is stuck on defense, sometimes you can deal with a guy who just wants to put his back into you, but the guy with the quick step is really hard.
Here's Rozon. 10 on the shot clock, being defended by Barrett. Here comes Bucktooth with the pick. Rozon shoots. Lawrence makes that save. Up ahead quickly to James Jemmett. Third overall pick this past year in the OJLL draft out of Clarington Minor Lacrosse. Now Weatherup to Blake Mason. Already has one in the game. Here's Ford. Gives it back to him. More Ford to Mason. Shoots, scores! Short side finish from Matthew Ford on a great pick and roll with Blake Mason. Warriors are fighting some life. They're only down by 2.
Textbook pick and roll here. They bring it up here. Looks like it's Pilon shoots. Reef just can't get right back in time, and Ford gets up. He's good on the crease there. Gets Wilson back. Same side, kind of on that low glove. Twice in a row now. Maybe they're finding something on Wilson here, but that is a textbook pick and roll.
Momentum might be starting to shift in the direction of the Warriors. And that's going to keep happening if they keep getting the balls. That's another face-off win there by number 19 in Urbach. Look out, Ryder Haynes was being heavily defended by Xavier Peters. They're going to say he stepped over center. That's going to be over and back. So that's going to be a turnover against the Warriors, as here come the Athletics. Wonarski flips it over his head to Bucktooth. 20 on the shot clock now for 44. Berard with the pick. Now over to Trent Meridian. Haven't said his name a lot here tonight, as it's been kind of the other guys. Bucktooth takes the pass from Kennedy. 10 on shot clock. Bucktooth walks in, shoots, scores. You cannot give Bucktooth that much time and space to rip it far side. And that's what he does right there, as that's his first goal of the night.
It's a great shot, but I do want to highlight Berard again here. Just the work these guys do to get him open has been incredible all year long, but like you said, that is way too much space from the dotted line for 44, and it felt like a matter of time before he stung one, and he got that one in the top corner, and he put all of it into that. Yeah, it definitely did. Not what you want to do if you're Whitby. If you're St. Catharines, you will take that 7 days a week and twice on Sundays. Yeah, you're okay with almost any shot that Jamison Bucktooth shoots. He can score from pretty much any angle, but that one, yeah, that'll do. Here's Urbach beating Paul. Here's Urbach on goal. Shoots. Save from Ty Wilson. Ball over the timeline now as Ari Steinhaus has it. So the lead is back up to 3 for the Athletics, as we are 90 seconds away from the halfway mark of the period and the game. Here's Rozon being defended by Reese Hunick. Trent Meridian down. Here's Evan Barrett defending him. Far side pass doesn't connect. Hunick in on Rozon. 2 seconds. Rozon going to try and shoot. Doesn't work. Bucktooth's shot is going to sail and is going to roll right over center. Jared Cook going to try and stop as best he can, and he'll stop on the restraining line. So Matthew Ford is going to come in and grab it. Suter. Blake Mason. Trying
Trying to get the pick from Ford. He does. Back to Proctor. Suter has it now. 12 on the shot clock. Ford gets the pick from Mason. Trying to find him backdoor. Doesn't work. Suter has it. Doesn't have a lot of time. He's going to try and work. Here's Weatherup with the pick. Suter tries to go underneath. Tries to go airborne and a short angle shot. It's going to get stopped by Ty Wilson. Pressure a little bit from Proctor on Sutter Pilon. And here's Jared Cook going to find Meridian. He's able to find, I believe that was Rozon far side. Backdoor for Rozon is his shot. Or sorry, that was Berard able to get that one off. I don't know how you're able to catch that one-handed, get two hands on your stick and get that shot off, Keelan. We both know I couldn't do that.
That is an impressive one, and I don't want to say it early, but this is the best game I think Blake Berard's played all season long so far.
Shot from Meridian, sails wide. Berard comes down with it again. 10 on shot clock, being defended by Moores. Shot from, I believe that was Paul. Now it's going to be a loose ball push against, sorry, that was Paul. It was Kennedy's shot that missed. Warriors come away with it. 30 minutes down, Keelan. 30 more to go. It's a 6-3 lead for the Athletics. They scored 5 in that opening period. They just added their 6 from Jameson Bucktooth. Warriors able to find a little bit of life here in the second period, and that's where we stand right now. Weatherup surveying his options. Tries to get past Ari Stainhouse, unsuccessful. Gives it to Lamrou. His shot. Wilson makes that save. That's going to be a loose ball push there against Ari Stainhouse on Shea Hunick. And Hunick is going to leave it here for Matthew Ford. We feel like the next goal is going to determine who may win this game. There's Weatherup. I know it's only down by 3, but if you're Whitby, that might be the goal that you need to maybe mount a comeback. If you're St. Catharines, and before I can even finish my sentence, that's going to be an illegal substitution call, as there were 5 out there and the 6 came out too early. So what could have been a transition opportunity for Ari Stainhouse turns into a penalty against them, and Whitby is going to get their second power play of the game.
Yeah, these ones are killer. Too many men calls. They always stuck. It was close. I can't really tell, but refs made the right call, I think, at the end of the day. And when you have transition, you're so excited to go get that goal as the old guy. I know the feeling. I've told her they're just wanting to get on and get one. Got to be a little more patient that extra half second.
Second power play of the game for Whitby. They went 0 for 1 on their first one. Can they capitalize here to bring them to within 2? Suter, Weatherup gets the pick from Lamoureux. Being defended by Pilon. Suter, Ford, shot. Wilson makes that save as that's underneath his arm. Ford scored both of his goals in that same area. He was trying to beat Ty Wilson again, but I think Ty has learned that you can't beat me there a third time.
I think that's experience you talked about, right? Earlier with the difference maybe between Cooper and Ty right now. It's his first time doing this. Ty's been around. He's been to a Minto Cup, been in some playoff series, so it's that adjustment period.
Here's Zach Toll, 10 on shot clock. Rozon tries to go underneath on Hewitt, doesn't work. Tries to go inside as that went off of a body. I believe that was Kennedy. And could be numbers here for the Warriors. Darius Jones ahead to Matthew Ford. Ford comes in, shoots, scores! So Whitby scored 3 goals on the power play last night, Keelan. All of them were in transition. That is their 4th transition goal on the power play inside of 24 hours.
Yeah, so this goes on the Athletics offense there, right? You got 4 guys, you got 2 guys behind the play, 2 guys going to the ball, and this one hurts if you're the A's defense, right? Because you're ready to kill a penalty, and the other guys don't get off. And Matthew Ford seems like he's got Ty's number right now, alone on the crease. That's just not where you want to leave an old guy with that much time. He could have actually stopped and threw a couple more fakes.
He definitely could have, but he is not going to care if he threw 1 fake or 1,000, as could be numbers back the other way as Paul comes in to get that one over the timeline. Could be numbers here for Whitby. Here's Evan Barrett with it. No one could come off the bench to help him as all 3 Whitby defenders were still out there. But now here's the goal scorer, Ford, and he just scored his hat-trick goal. So 3 from Ford, 1 from Mason. And the goal scorers for the Athletics are Toll, Paul, Berard with 2, Stainhouse, and Bucktooth. Shot goes wide from Weatherup. Running in transition with it, it's O'Farrell. Coach is telling him to go to the far side of the floor with it, and he's going to give a bounce pass over to Bucktooth. Could be numbers here for the Athletics. Try to give it to Errol Booth, doesn't happen. That's going to end up in the Athletics bench, and they were actually lucky as their defense was changing. Had that bounced out, Whitby might have had a transition opportunity back the other way. But the Warriors get it back and might be finding some life in this middle frame. Mason down to Bryson Lamoureux. To Matt Suter. He's going behind the net, and he's got 15 on the shot clock. He finds Blake Mason. Lamoureux trying to slip underneath. Here's Shea Hunick. Hunick rips, hits another 16 as that was O'Farrell. Ball loose down there on the turf. Hunick trying to find it, and that's going to be a shot clock violation. Hunick had the lane, but at the last second, O'Farrell decided to stick his leg in the middle of it. So that may sting if you're O'Farrell, but not going to sting too much as you just prevented what could have been a goal.
Yeah, it's a good block there. A couple good defensive sets there for the A's after that transition goal. So
Bucktooth over to Rozon, buries it.
This has been the two-man all year long for this team. These two have just been back and forth. They don't care who shoots it. They don't care who passes it, right? Maybe a moving pick there at the top there from Rozon, but we'll see if the refs start to let that go maybe as the game goes on. Rozon gets the short side on a nice little pick and roll there right into the, I believe that's the U17 team, and that's a big goal. But as you pointed out there, maybe a moving pick there at the top. Maybe they think that, you know, he's selling it a bit, but either way, if the refs are going to let him play, let's see how they, you know, let the game fold now.
Draw one by Urbach again. He's going to try and find some help as he's being triple teamed right now. Still has the ball in his stick. Able to get it out and bounce pass over to Ryder Haynes. Able to keep it on the offensive half. That's something Urbach's been able to do very well. If he wins a draw, he gets double, triple, sometimes quad teamed and able to still come away with the ball. Lamoureux shot, big hit from Weatherup on Pelon as that was a combination of Warriors players. Here's Ari Stainhouse with it. Stainhouse, one of those players that if he's not in the running for Transition Player of the Year, he definitely should be. Offensive Player of the Year, Bucktooth potentially. His shot goes wide. It's going to trigger a reset. Inside move, Toll shoots, scores! Zach Toll cuts through the middle, goes short side, far side, buries it on Lawrence.
So you're starting to see the A's top players starting to find their groove now, and I think if you're with me, this is what you're worried about because they've had the support goals now, but it starts with Bucktooth, and Toll just finds a little cut, and I believe that's the second time now they've gotten him on that top left shoulder, right back into the U17 team behind the net there. They're bringing it, and the A's are now up 8-4, but if you're Whitby, I don't think you change what you're doing. I think defensively, maybe a couple more stops, but offensively, I think they're getting looks. It's just beating Ty Wilson, which I know it sounds like almost I'm saying that, but like it's not that easy. But also, you're doing the right things. It's just the last finishing step now.
Look out as Cook came in and leveled a sizable hit on Hewitt. 2 fours going at it. So we have we're approached the 5-minute mark to go here in the second period. Hunick was being defended. That was Reese Hunick, and turnover. Now an errant pass over the head of Galante. Back door goes off the stick of Barrett. Meridian somehow still in on it, and he's going to find it. Here's Bucktooth. Shoots off the mask of Lawrence. And a good 30-second reset here for the Athletics. Here's Toll. Being defended by Jones. Him and Toval are going to switch. Bucktooth being defended by Proctor. Bucktooth over. That was over to Paul, couldn't connect. Jones. Comes in, Jones shoots, save from Ty Wilson. Pilon able to corral that rebound. He's going to get it ahead quickly to 2, Marshall.
You can hear Dan Coates, easy, 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 right? You've got the lead right now. Don't need to push silly ones. Just take your time, keep playing offense.
Remember, it was 4-0 for the Athletics. It then became 5-1 at the end of the first. Whitby started to find some life, but Athletics are starting to get some momentum coming back here as that shot from... So ball went into the bench of the Athletics, so officials have to make sure we know where it is. Coming in, crease dive, scores! Jaden Kennedy goes airborne, and the lead is up to 5 for St. Catharines.
Resets. Anytime a team can get resets in multiple possessions, you're going to be successful. The A's get a reset. They're able to go again. They go with 25 on the clock. Just nobody picks up underneath, and Jaden Kennedy's a big body. He's going to go in underneath, and that's now the 3rd straight goal going on that left shoulder of Lawrence, so maybe the A's have found something there.
So we can see right now Phil Weatherup giving some advice to Lincoln Lawrence on the bench. You can see Corey Small talking a little bit with the offense. Ty Wilson to the bench talking with his defense. So you're always talking, you're always communicating, you're always offering pieces of advice. Biggest lead in the series now, or tied for the biggest lead. It was 7-2 here inside of game 1. That ended 7-4. It's now a 5-goal advantage here tonight. It's 9-4 in favor of the Athletics.
I think you're about to see what the Whitby team's made of. We talked about, you had a really emotional game last night. Even as the winner, that took a lot out of you to go, 6 periods basically and do that. So now you're down 5, almost end of the second. Are you going to go away, or do you keep coming and make a game out of it again? I don't expect them to go away at all, and I think we're still in for a very exciting last 23 minutes.
Reminder: Game 4 of this series will be on Thursday, August the 6th. 8 p.m. start time down at the Iroquois Park Sports Center at Pad 1. But for right now, you said it, Keelan, we still have 23 minutes remaining here inside of Game 3. Toll tries to cut to the middle. He takes a hit. Ball down there on the turf. Ryder Haynes comes away with it. He's trying to run. He gets trail checked. Urbach trying to come in. Still able to get it. Gets it over center just in time. St. Catharines won an 8-second count. Urbach tries to go in. His shot doesn't connect. Ty Wilson tries to get it, and even though he had it in his stick, going to be a through the crease call, and he gets it quickly out ahead to Ari Stainhouse. Stainhouse walks in. Stainhouse shoots. Save from Lawrence. That was a bullet of a shot. Lee Ford shoots, scores! So we have a chance down at one end from Ari Stainhouse. Loose ball to Moores, to Lee, to Ford, back of the net.
Yeah, the ball just went back and forth there. Urbach had a chance even before that. Steinhaus takes a shot. It's a big save for Lawrence, a confidence one. And then Whitby just kind of hides the guy deep. Offense isn't on yet. You see Pilon's late. And Ford, 4 goals right now in this period. He's kind of keeping them alive. It feels like it's St. Catharines versus Matthew Ford right now. He's having a big period in keeping this team alive.
Yeah, he definitely is. So here's Reese Hunick going to come in on the face-off dot there against Isaiah Paul. It's going to be Paul that wins it. And coming in, that was Xavier Peters able to split the double team, and you can see Ian Lord and Dan Coates pretty happy with that effort from Peters. Again, his first game in the finals here tonight. Here's Hunick against Rozon, switches off to Barrett. Up top now, it's Kennedy. He's got Meridian. Meridian shoots, that goes off the iron and into the rafters. Look out if you're at St. Catharines U17 team. Someone's getting a souvenir. So reset here for the Athletics. Bucktooth tried to get it over to Booth. Now he does. Back to Bucktooth. Alone on an island against Owen Lee. Bucktooth to the middle. Shoots off the iron. Loose ball whacked around down there. Pops back into the stick of the Athletics. It's over to Rozon. Errol Booth being defended now by Liam Hackett. 20 on the shot clock. Here's Meridian. Bucktooth is behind the net. Look out for him. Rozon against Reese Hunick. Tries to go underneath. Shot over to Bucktooth. He's get it. Might be thinking crease dive. 10 on shot clock. Inside, Meridian. Shoots, scores! When Jamison Bucktooth is behind the net, you never know what he'll do. This time he's the playmaker as Meridian buries it.
This is just elite patience. Not rushing it, not going for the crease dive, just waiting. Meridian, defender looks away for half a second. That's all it takes. He's very quick. Gets inside, and the U17 boys behind the net. They're getting a lot of work in this period. And like I said, that's just Bucktooth patience. That's elite level, waiting, not forcing it, realizing what's on the clock as well, and finding the right pass inside.
It's now a 5-goal advantage again for the Athletics. Urbach able to win that one and flings it back into the Whitby end. Here's Hewitt in on it. Stick got knocked out of the hands of Marshall. So Jack Morse comes in to get it. Hewitt is going to leave it here for Bryson Lamoureux. 60 seconds remain in the middle frame between the Warriors and the Athletics. Lamoureux underneath, shoots, save from Ty Wilson. As we thank all of our viewers for tuning in, Lucas Arger, Keelan Pilon with you on the OJLL YouTube channel. Back the other way, here's Galante. Remember, Whitby took a first period timeout. St. Catharines did not. So if the Athletics get the reset here, safe to assume Dan Coates may call a timeout. Tuvell has it, reset changes, and getting to the bench is Ryder Haynes. Tuvell down the floor. Tuvell to Owen Lee, shoots, goes off of Ty Wilson. Loose ball here in the corner, along the near boards. Picked up, Lee trying to find it. Still loose down there on the turf. Timeout called by Dan Coates and company as soon as Ari Stanhouse picked that up.
He's got lucky there. 4 O guys were below the goal line when Whitby picked that ball up. Luckily, Bucktooth got back. Still got a great chance with Lee because he locked off the O guy coming out. I think it was Ford again, which is the guy. Let's probably lock him off right now. I'll take Owen Lee over him. But the Aids get the ball back. Now they get a timeout. It's a big momentum. Goals at the end of the periods, I like to say, are the most important, and they're actually backbreakers too, especially for Whitby. You feel fine, I think, going down 5. Obviously, you want to be in a better spot, but you're in this lacrosse game.
As we take a look at the road to the Minto Cup coming up on your screen. So game 3 currently underway. We have 20 minutes and 12 seconds remaining here in this game. Game 4 Thursday night back in Whitby before what could be a second back-to-back on Saturday back here at 7 p.m. and then it could be right back in Whitby on Sunday. Of course, the Minto Cup getting set underway on Sunday, August the 16th out in Calgary, Alberta. 2 out of the 4 teams are already in it, Keelan, as Raiders Lacrosse Club are the hosts, and then the Calgary Mounties just punched their ticket in their semifinal win over the Edmonton Miners. And then out in the BC Junior A League, it's between the Coquitlam Adnaks and Victoria Shamrocks for the 3rd straight year. Coquitlam looking to go back to the Minto for a 3rd straight year. Very hard to win 3 Mintos in a row. Coquitlam may be looking to do that, but they got to get past the Shamrocks and whoever the Ontario representative is here, as here's Errol Booth. Over to Zach Toll, back to Booth. Inside feed, shot behind the back. Lawrence makes that save, down the floor. Haynes is gonna let it go, and it's not gonna make it there in time as a great over-the-shoulder shot from Isaiah Paul gets stopped by Lincoln Lawrence. And the horn will sound. Athletics had a 4-goal lead after 1. They now have a 5-goal lead after 2. Shots on goal showing in-house 39-31 in favor of the Athletics. We saw Whitby start to get the momentum in the early stages of that period, Keelan, but then it was the big guns on the Athletics side. Toll, Bucktooth, Meridian a little bit. So both the superstars and the depth scoring are coming out to play here for the Athletics. And on Whitby's side, you said it. It was Matthew Ford versus the Athletics in that second period. Yeah, it was Matthew Ford was fantastic. They need the rest of their offensive guys to get going. I expect Weatherup. Weird for him to be this quiet, you would almost say, right? So I expect him to really get going. And then the A's, you just got to keep chipping away. Those depth goals really helped, but it's going to be an exciting third. And as you know, no lead has been safe so far. It was a 4-goal lead for the Athletics midway through the third last night. Whitby ended it in overtime. St. Catharines with a 5-goal lead heading into the third period here tonight. Do the Athletics come away with the 2-1 series lead, or does Whitby go home with it? We will find out when the third period returns here to Canada Games Park. We'll be back with you in about 8 minutes. Third period just about to get underway here. Teams just about to return here to the turf, Keelan, for the final 20 minutes of regulation as the Athletics find themselves up 5. Let's take a look at how that happened.
Yeah, so early on here, right, I think Lawrence kind of settled in early. I thought he had a good first 10 minutes of the period. As you can tell, he made a bunch of saves, jumping up on rebounds, really kind of settled in early. I thought he had a great start. Wilson was kind of doing his thing again too, in front, weather up. Goalies have been good. I still believe that in both of them. Ty's been great. Lawrence, it settled in a little bit. That one shoulder's kind of been getting him, but he's made some big saves here throughout the period. That was almost a really cheeky goal there by Isaiah Paul. And then we start getting into the goals here, right? We talk about Ford getting an O-man on an ISO. That's all day long for him. Just a quick jab step with the shot coming immediately off the hip. Goalie doesn't see it. And then we go back to Ford again. Great pick and roll. Goes low to the foot there. And then the A's come back the other way again here. And this is when the A's started to come back to it. And when you see a big guy, Jamison Bucktooth, getting on the board, kind of picked them back up. Felt like momentum was shifting. And then it went the other way. And then Wilson, big save again. And here is where Ford goes again. If you notice about Ford's goals, he hasn't gone to the same spot twice on these breakaways. He goes 5-hole this time. He went to the low foot before on that pick and roll. And then the A's come right back here again. And once again, it's Bucktooth being the catalyst, just waiting, finding Rozon. And here's where the A's found something on Lawrence. It's that top left shoulder of his. Sutter Pilon taking a big one here. Took a big one last night, obviously. His head is okay, but he took another big one there. And then they come back to that top left. Again, it's that same spot. Lawrence, and even they've hit a couple crossbars on it as well. So he's got to really have a look at that. Kennedy again to the top left, right? Beating him there. And they just kept coming and coming. And I think they're going to find that spot and they're going to keep shooting at it. And then here's the transition. This is where the play got out of control for a little bit. It went back and forth, back and forth. And they went the other way, and they find the last guy you want if you're the A's right now is Matthew Ford. And he picks a new spot again, going top right on Wilson. Here's that spot, right? They're finding that spot. And this is just elite patience, like we said. Elite, waiting, wait out the goalie and go underneath. Almost like Lawrence expecting it to go up top. He flared up, drop it right where it came from. Lots of highlights that period. Big third period on deck.
5-goal lead for the Athletics. Remember, we are tied up here in Game 3, so winner will be going home with a 2-1 series lead. Who will that be as third period gets underway with an Aiden Urbach face-off win for the Warriors? Lucas Arger, Keelan Pilon, our entire OJLL YouTube crew here this evening. We'll bring you the remainder of the Ontario finals in the lead up to the Minto Cup. Ford shot, bouncer right into the stick of Ty Wilson. Coming to get it is the aforementioned Sutter Pilon, taking 2 big hits in Game 2 last night, Game 3 here this evening. An almost sold-out crowd here at the Canada Games Park to watch these two Titans go at it as Bucktooth tried to find Booth back door. Officials are going to say Booth went through the crease. So turnover against St. Catharines, gives Whitby the ball. Jones tried to come across the timeline, got knocked down. And now here's Booth with it again against Ryan Proctor. 42 against 42. Ball ends up in the stick of 19 in blue and Isaiah Paul. Paul already has 1 goal in the contest, scored the opening. 1 here tonight is the icebreaker. Zach Toll already has 2 markers in the game. Here's Rozon, tries to go underneath, doesn't work. 5 on shot clock now. Booth to Toll, comes around, shot, scores! Number 2 has 3 on the night as that's a hat-trick goal for Zach Toll.
So gonna have to see it here. I don't think Lawrence saw this ball one bit. It comes around the screen here. It looks like Meridian setting the pick. Toll's patient, waits. He shoots at the perfect time as Meridian's kind of setting that pick and the 2 Whitby defenders are in the way of Lawrence. He picks that short side, and to me it looks like Lawrence reacts late, didn't pick it up. Just smart shooting from Zach Toll.
It's now a 6-goal advantage here, as Toll is now up to 3 goals on the night. Berard still with 2. All other goal scorers here for the Athletics have won. Bucktooth, shot, go far side, that just misses. Toll, back here to Paul, gets taken down. 5 on shot clock, Owen Lee playing some good defense. Reese Unick finds it. Gonna try and get the transition game going here. Just clean exits is what the Warriors need. If you gotta run it yourself like Unick did right there, Phil Weatherup and company will take that. Weatherup getting beaten up right there as Galante goes at him. Here's Ford trying to go one-on-one against Pilon. Doesn't work. Weatherup with the pick on Pilon. They're going to call that a moving pick, and that's going to be a penalty, actually. As Weatherup comes over, not obliging to that one, and can see the Whitby coaching staff asking what the difference is between a penalty and a moving pick here right now, but let's take a look at what number 10 did here on this play.
So I'm not going to give an opinion here, but it is a big hit. It could have just been a possession, honestly, in my opinion. Pilon's taken a lot of big hits as this series has gone on, but that is a big one. Weatherup's a big boy, and it is certainly, it's at the least a moving pick, but the refs think a 2-minute.
Second power play of the game here for the Athletics. They went 0 for 1 on their first one way back in the first period. Rozon. His shot just goes wide. Here's Owen Lee with it. Tried to overrun it. That's going to be over and back, says the officials. That's actually going to be a penalty against Bucktooth, it looks like, as Lee was trying to go for the ball. I guess Bucktooth whacked him a little too hard, as we may be able to see on the replay. But that will negate the Athletics power plays. Let's see what happened here. Keep your eye on 51 and 44. There it is.
Yeah, it's one on the back of him there. I think, honestly, going both ways, that's one where maybe the first one, maybe not a penalty, maybe that one not a penalty. In other circumstances, we'll even them up and play 4-on-4.
First time tonight we play 4-on-4 as Suter goes to work with Proctor. Up to Proctor. Shot. Save from Ty Wilson as he tried to go far side. Doesn't connect. Bounce pass over in the stick of Galante. Ari Stainhouse is out there for a moment. He's going to go for a change. 21 seconds separating the Weatherup and Bucktooth infractions. Rozon, 10 on shot clock, being defended by Urbach and Jemmett. He's got Paul with him, tries to find a lane. Doesn't work, that gets knocked down. And shot clock is going to go against St. Catharines. Whitby ball. Tuvell with it. Blake Mason with it. Scored Whitby's first goal late in that first period. It's been only the lefties on the Whitby offense that have been able to get it past Ty Wilson. Ford tried to go underneath O'Farrell, but that doesn't work. 2-on-1. O'Farrell on his wrong side. He's got Cook with him. That misses. Here comes Darius Jones. That's going to be a reset here. Barrett quickly up ahead to Proctor.
That may be Patrick O'Farrell's first shot attempt of the year. He's a great defender, but he's not normally on that side of the floor. It's a great look, but not normally where he is.
Lamoureux surveying his options, being defended by Marshall. 10 on shot clock. Here's Lamoureux. Tries to go back door. Proctor all alone. Shoot, scores! What do you do when you're 4-on-4? You keep moving, keep swinging the ball. 2 less players out there. You get a little more room, and Proctor able to go back door.
It's good on-ball defense by the A's. Starts with Pilon going at him here. And I believe it's Cook who steps up after. And it's just Reeve Steinhaus on the back door. Just caught ball watching. Sometimes happens as a defender. You get caught watching the ball. Forget about the guy behind you. Maybe thought there was a little less time on the shot clock. Didn't have time to get backdoor cut. But that's an easy one for Whitby.
So that does go down as a power play marker, actually, as the penalty had expired. So we're back to 5-on-5 here. Whitby now 2 for 3 on their power plays tonight. Urbach being heavily defended by Stainhouse and Peters. Ball back the other way here in the stick of O'Farrell. Try to give it to Bucktooth, but that doesn't work as that almost went near center. but saved by Galante. Here's Zach Toll. He's got now 12 left on the shot clock. Gives it to Booth, to Bucktooth. Bucktooth trying to find a lane. He does. Bounce shot saved by Lawrence. Ryder Haynes gets it over to Hewitt. He may have to run across the timeline past Bucktooth. Hewitt trying to get over in time of 8 seconds, and he does. Gonna spin back around, leave it for Ford. That's a whack on the leg of Ford. He's not happy about it, as the officials aren't either. Both D'Souza and Coulter have their arms up. Weatherup unloads, just sails wide, and that's gonna be a penalty coming here. Or it's gonna get so it's actually going to be a penalty to somebody else here, Keelan. Actually didn't see this one. Let's see what happened.
Yeah, it looks like Jared Cook going to be going to the box. It was off ball over here. It looked like something went on. I think it was a hit to the back. Just one of those ones off ball where you get a little too physical. Both refs had it, so clearly a penalty.
Whitby 2 for 3 on their power plays up to this point. They scored their first one in transition. They scored their other one as the other one was expiring just moments ago. Quick stick shot from Ford doesn't connect. Ty Wilson didn't really know where that one was, so he just stayed right there, and coming in with it was Galante. Now up ahead, it's Paul. Down low for Jaden Kennedy. Far side to Rozon along the near boards. Evan Barrett guarding him. Cross. Shot from Meridian. Save from Lawrence. That was a great left to right save from Lawrence to keep that one out. We've played 6 minutes here in the third. The Warriors find themselves down by 5, but on a power play. Weatherup. Up top. Unloads, hit a stick in front. Ty Wilson able to corral it. Bounce pass up ahead to Ari Stainhouse. Might run onto it, and he does, and he's going to wait for the offense to come out here. So here's Toll with it down low. 10 on the shot clock. Bucktooth. Bucktooth going to unload, and that goes into the pads of Lincoln Lawrence. He'll get it quickly up ahead on a pass from Jack Moores to Darius Jones.
Big last 25 seconds here. This penalty kill and the power play for both teams here. Whitby, you get one now. You're down 4, 12 minutes left. Tons of time. You scored 4 goals in about 8 minutes last night, it felt like. So they're right in this.
Lamoureux. Back to Ford on his wrong side. Shoots. That sailed just wide. Weatherup trying to find it. Going to go for the dunk attempt. Maybe not going to happen. Shot clock going to go. Cook getting ready to come out of the penalty box. And that is a big kill if you're the Athletics, as the Warriors were starting to find momentum, but not able to keep it rolling there. So now here's Meridian. Leaves it here for Kennedy. Walks in. Face dodges. Shot. Lawrence makes that save. Loose ball up for grabs. Pops into the stick of Owen Lee. He may have Evan Barrett down floor. He does. Barrett versus Wilson. Barrett comes in. Shoots. Big save from Wilson with the shoulder.
Barrett's second breakaway. Second time Wilson's got the better of him. I think both times he actually went up top to try and go over Wilson. Wilson goes up with him, matches him.
Booth with it now. Bucktooth, 12 on the shot clock, gets the pick. That's going to be a moving pick right there against Rozon. They're not happy about it, as Rozon's stick got caught up in the body of Liam Hackett. They thought that could have been a penalty against Hackett for holding the stick, but there was enough force against Rozon to cause the turnover. Weatherup, 15 on shot clock. Here's Ford. Back to number 10. Shea Hunick trying to set the pick for him on Ari Steinhaus. That's a big body. Trying to move him. That pass gets knocked down. It's O'Farrell and Steinhaus. Defense gets out there. Steinhaus is going to leave it right here for Paul. Now the captain, Zach Toll. 9 minutes have played here on the inside. Shot. Lawrence makes that save, as that was Isaiah Paul that was right in front of the net.
Paul hurt something there. Looks like maybe his arm took a stinger. Really tough kid. I expect him to be all right, but that was a big hit, and I think it caused his shot to go 5-hole. I don't think he was looking there.
Backdoor feed for Ford, doesn't connect. Here comes Shea Hunick, and ball loose up for grabs. Pops it in the stick of Proctor. He gets knocked down, and Sutter Pilon trying to get it over center. Suter's just going to throw it back on net. Not going to happen, as that's a shot clock violation.
Little Sutter to Suter action there.
Try saying that 5 times fast. Bucktooth being defended by Barrett. Just had a breakaway opportunity a couple moments ago. Now it's Lee against Bucktooth. Barrett against Bucktooth, trying to body his way down. Try to get that far side for Arrow Booth, doesn't connect. Here comes Liam Hackett running away with it. Might be numbers here for Whitby. Hackett and Weatherup on a 2-on-1. Hackett comes in, shoots, just sails wide. He went through the crease, can't be the first one to touch it. So Whitby starting to find more ideas in transition. That's going to be a legal substitution here against the Athletics, as they had 6 on the floor again. So this will be Whitby's 5th power play of the night coming up here.
Yeah, the first time they got the 2-minute, we weren't really sure. Didn't really see it. Could have been close. That one for sure. We both took a quick look and went 1-2-3, 1-2-3 on both ends. That's 6. Whitby going to that man up in that time where feels like you kind of need one. I know there's still a lot of time, but get it to 4. It just feels more believable to me, and this is the power play opportunity now.
9:46 is what remains here as Whitby find themselves down by 5. Here's Ford. Going to switch with Weatherup, gives it right back to him. Lamoureux is the left crease man. Weatherup trying to find Suter on the inside, doesn't connect. Suter trying to set that pick and free up Weatherup. Lamoureux, backdoor. Proctor trying to get his hands free. Lamoureux, shot, that sails wide. Weatherup trying to get it. Shot, that goes wide. Picked up by Stainhouse. 2 good looks from the Warriors. St. Catharines bench not happy, thinking that should have been the same slash that Bucktooth was penalized with. They wanted that one called on Weatherup. Rozon tries to go underneath. Has to back out. He's now got Toll to Bucktooth. Doesn't connect. Ball loose down there on the turf. Whitby going to come away with it, and it's going to be Owen Tuvell that's going to get it as the shot clock does buzz. Under a minute remaining now, and the bench minor being served by Scarlett for illegal substitution.
Like the last look they had, call it a dice sometimes when you just throw the guy right in the middle. Thought he was open a couple times in the middle. They go to the double up pick here.
Suter, shot, underhand, gets saved by Ty Wilson. Whitby trying to get inside, but it's hard when you have the likes of Stainhouse, 2 of them, times Winarski and a Cook or a Galante right there on the penalty kill. Very hard to get inside on when you have those 4 or any combination of those 7 guys out there on the PK, Keelan.
Yeah, they like to mix it up, but they normally have their 2 big guys. They like to put Ari out there with Galante, and then Warnowski and Pilon, 2 maybe smaller defenders who are still physical but don't have that presence, and it's a really good balance for them.
Athletics able to kill that penalty off as we are back to 5-on-5 action here. 7.5 remaining and a 5-goal lead for the Athletics. Here's Weatherup trying to close the gap. Hard against Stainhouse. Shea Hunick with a shot. Goes off the post. Could go back the other way. Reef Stainhouse. 1-on-1 with Lawrence. Stainhouse comes in, shoots. Lawrence makes that save. Darius Jones tries to come in and get that rebound. Mason with it. Tries to get it to Ford. Trying to get it over in the allotted 8 seconds, and they get it. Here's Ford with it now, trying to back down. Pilon doesn't connect. Tries to swim him. Ford comes around. Shoots, scores! Matthew Ford, 5 goals in this game. What more can you say about number 24 that we haven't already?
This is really pretty, and like I said, he's keeping them in the game by himself. What happens is he gets Sutter to extend out. When you see a defender move forward, it means you've got them in the momentum, right? They're falling forward, which means they can't adjust your move. He swims right as Pilon leans forward. gets him underneath, and that's a nice shot by Ford again.
Warriors goals for number 24, Matt Ford. Assist number 10, Max Weatherup. And number 22, Matt Suter. Ford from Weatherup and Suter. Time of the goal, 12:55.
Back at the face-off dot, it's going to be, looks to be Pilon against Urbach. Excuse me, that's a 1, not a 7, so that was Kennedy against Urbach. Whitby with possession now as they find themselves down 4 after that last goal from Ford. Lamoureux back to Ford, shoots, what a save from Wilson. Shea Hunick in to collect that rebound. He sends it all the way up top to Lamoureux. Back to Matthew Ford, 5 goals in the game. Does he have a socks trick? Suter, Lamoureux, outside rip, that goes wide. Suter trying to come down with the rebound. Goes off of his stick, loose ball down there on the turf. Weatherup trying to find it. He knocks it away, able to pick it up. 10 left on the shot clock now. Outside, wrong side rip, that goes high, and Wilson able to corral that one underneath his arm.
So what I'm recognizing these last couple of possessions, Whitby is getting like A+ looks right now. Ty Wilson is turning it on. Obviously, Ford scored that one alone on the crease. Don't really expect to save there. Wilson right now is the difference.
Lawrence makes that save, and that was a good opportunity. Tubble down the floor for Ryan Proctor. Proctor versus Wilson. Proctor comes in, shoots off the post.
Whitby's done a really good job sneaking a guy off. They sneak a guy off. It's like they know when that shot's coming. They're sneaking off, and the A's aren't adjusting at all. And if you know Dan Coates, that will drive him nuts. The guys aren't getting off the floor in time.
Here's Bucktooth going one-on-one against Gem, and here comes a slide from Lee. Down low, around, Lawrence makes that save. Tubble with it now, he gets knocked over. Look out, as that was a big hit between Lawrence and Kennedy. And now getting it up ahead, just over center. Tubble able to get it over to Mason, and Proctor comes in to save that ball. 5 minutes to go and a 4-goal lead here for the Athletics. Whitby trying to increase the pressure. Athletics looking to hold them off. Darius Jones, outside rip, off the iron again. Gonna roll over center. And they're gonna say that is over and back as Lamoureux had it. And his momentum took him over center. Uncharacteristic turnover by Whitby. Ends up as a turnover. Here's Errol Booth, outside rip off the iron. Look out if you're in the 7th row, as that one hit the rafters up here in Canada Games Park and came down. Now Bucktooth. Coming around, trying to find a lane, doesn't get it. Ball loose on the turf. Meridian in on it now. We're going to have a call here, so that's going to be moving pick here against Booth or minor interference. So turnover against the Athletics. Here comes Whitby. Up ahead to Ford. When you start thinking about pulling Lawrence maybe. We have 4 minutes to go, down by 4. Here comes Ford underneath maybe. Lamoureux, 15 on shot clock. Gives it to Matt Ford. Suter. Trying to find a lane. Now he does. Outside rip. That gets blocked. Running away with it. It's Andrew Scarlett. Scarlett being chased on by Lamoureux. Against Lawrence. Shot up. Tubble comes in to corral that one.
Big save. That one feels like a dagger if it goes in. And that Lawrence, kind of saves them there, and that's a big save.
When you start thinking about pulling them?
I know this might be your last 5-on-5 possession. I know you trust your offense and they can score quick. Anything under 2 minutes, I would for sure say he's coming.
Shea Hunick gets a look and he shoots, saved from Wilson, as he lets Ari Stainhouse know that I may be getting called up tonight, but don't count me out, as Stainhouse has it now coming over center. Leaves it right there for Kennedy. Rozon and Zach Toll are out there. Here's Kennedy with it. He's got Bucktooth, and the late man's Blake Berard. Moving pick against Whitby, or against St. Catharines. Whitby possession. Tubble floats it up ahead to Hackett. Hackett's going to stay in play here. There's Lamoureux. Hunick, Proctor, and Suter are the righties. Here's Xavier Peters defending. Jared Cook is in on there now. Bucktooth got caught out on defense. Pilon is in there against Suter and Hunick. Suter over to Bryson Lamoureux. Gonna get a shot off. There's 5. Lamoureux shot. Wilson makes that save. Coming in to crowd that one was Bucktooth. Bucktooth trying to get it up ahead, and he's able to. Quickly ahead to Cook. Zach Toll with it. Lucas Rozon. Up ahead, there's Trent Meridian. Backdoor, Rozon trying to find a lane. Shoots. That sails just wide. And look out, as that's going to be a loose ball push against Ryder Haynes. Whitby bench not happy, as they thought that Rozon went down a little too easy. So now here's Toll. 2 minutes remaining here. Ryder Haynes has it. Look out in front of the crease as we got some antics going on. Booth shot. Lawrence makes that save in front of a sea of bodies in blue.
There's a battle going on in front with Bucktooth right now. It is going on.
Rozon tried the dunk attempt, doesn't work. Shot clock's gonna go, and that's gonna be a violation. Look out here. We're gonna get some fireworks going here in the late stages. Look out as Toll comes in to grab Lee. Jones was in it, so was Bucktooth. Someone gets knocked down, and that's Berard that's coming back. He throws a shove. Ryder Haynes is involved. Hewitt gets the bucket, rips the bucket off of Rozon. And Berard and Jemmett are still going at it. Lawrence coming in. Looks like the officials are dragging Owen Lee off the floor. Fans on both sides not happy here.
Felt like it was coming, that possession. Like, you just knew there was bodies in front. Bucktooth's going at it. Lee's at it. And 33 and Blue's never afraid of anybody, so he'll go. He has no problem. So he's in there as well. Lawrence is having a push. Cooler heads do prevail. No gloves are dropped. I think this series is too important to do anything like that, right? Like pushing and shoving, sure, but it's far too important.
So as we take a look here on the replay, we can see that you have Jemmett in there, Toll, Berard, Bucktooth, Lee, Darius Jones. You can see Lucas Rozon coming in, getting mixed up with Justin Hewitt in front of the crease. There comes the bucket rip and toss from Hewitt.
So I think that'll be a penalty. That's a face mask, right? Grabbing like that and throwing it off. And Berard's over here. I can't tell who Berard's in it with over here. Looks like maybe number 21.
It looks to be Jemmett.
Going at it. Like I said, cooler heads ended up prevailing. Nothing too crazy comes out of that. Couple good cross checks, maybe a couple bruises in the morning. Yeah, nothing crazy. And I think Bucktooth ends up in the box.
Jones we see down there in the box. Two of them are still jarring back and forth. Ty Wilson coming over here now. So
I think if you know the Wilsons, they're not afraid either. They love to get involved. They have no problem running their mouth as well. Ty's literally right here in front of us in the penalty box having some words. So we'll say if you're the A's, Bucktooth maybe not the guy you want. It is part of his game, maybe not the guy you want involved. But when it's part of your game, you can't really ask him to stop too much, right? Because it's part of who he is.
And Jones and Bucktooth are still going back and forth with one another, so they're going to be kicked out here. We're not sure if it's game misconducts or just 10-minute misconducts. We'll wait and see what it says online here. So it looks to be Bucktooth and Jones. Their nights are done as we have 1:39 remaining. So let's take a look at how all this happens, Keelan. Give us the lowdown.
So number 8 there for Whitby here, right? It comes in there. That's Ryder Haynes. He starts with one while Bucktooth's on the ground. So immediately the A's kind of respond, but then the A's kind of come back themselves, and here it is as it comes down here. You just knew it was coming, right? Bucktooth was looking for it. He was waiting. He comes in here, throws a late one, a punch, a push, and then everybody's into it now, right? So it started about 20 seconds before that. Bucktooth pushed his guy down on the crease. Then he ate a cross check while he was laying down. And it just felt like it's only a matter of time before, there was a little something going on there. But we're going to get back to playing lacrosse here.
So when it's all said and done, we just heard them in-house that Bucktooth and Jones each get 10-minute unsportsman legs, but Jones gets the extra for face masking. So that is the extra minor against the Warriors. And for St. Catharines, on paper, this is their third power play of the game, 0 for 2 up to this point. But considering that there's a minute 20 left in the game and a minute 40 remaining on the penalty, they're just going to try and work something around here. As you can see, they're not their usual power play opportunity or unit out there, as you see both Steinhauses and Teoni Galante out there playing some power play time.
Yeah, a couple of these guys, I'd love to ask how many power plays they've been on in their life, considering Xavier Peters, Patty O'Farrell, Ari's been on a couple growing up, but a lot of these guys, maybe not power play guys most of the time, getting their chance.
So we have under a minute to go here. St. Catharines fans starting to get the cheers and the claps going here, as they know that their team is close to walking away with a 2-1 series lead here, as both 43s are getting tangled up here. Play was blown in. So here's Hackett with it, gonna leave it here for Tuvel. Reminder, Game 3, Thursday night, 8 p.m. from Iroquois Park Sports Center. It's gonna be the Athletics that will go back to Whitby with a 2-1 series advantage. Late shot gets whiffed, and as that gets picked up, you can see behind the play here, Moores, and I believe that's O'Farrell getting tangled up here. Looks to be that Marshall comes in, but it won't matter, as when the final buzzer goes, you can still see some jarring near the center line here.
If both teams just go, right? There's a long series, just go, it's done now.
They will see each other again in less than 48 hours, as Game 3 comes to an end. 11-7 is the final here in favor of the Athletics, who take a 2-1 series lead. Final shots on goal total, 52-46 in favor of the Athletics. And not to say that the Athletics dominated all night, Keelan, but they definitely executed and had just a much better game than Whitby. I don't want to say dominated, but they definitely corrected the mistakes that they made last night and come away with the Game 3 win.
Yeah, maybe not dominated, but I'd say in control from start to finish, though, right? They just felt like they started off hot, they got those couple goals, and it just never came back for Whitby. Matthew Ford did all he could to get them back in the game, but have a couple goals down early. A's kind of stepped in control. When you have a goalie like Ty Wilson, you get an early lead, really tough for a team to come back, but obviously Game 4 goes in 2 days, and Whitby looked to even it up. As
we take a look at the final stats lineups here tonight, Keelan on the visitor side, 6 points from Matthew Ford, 5 goals and an assist. Blake Mason had in a goal and 2, but on the home side for the Athletics, it was 6 from Bucktooth, goal and 5 assists, 5 points from Toll, 3 and 2, and then just the depth scoring all the way down the chart. It is the St. Catharines Athletics that lead the best of 7 series, 2-1. As we wrap up here from Canada Games Park, for our camera operator and director, Gary Wolf, our producer, Gary Morrison, our producer, Rachel Wolf, and for my color commentator and partner, Keelan Pilon, my name is Lucas Archer. We say thank you for watching, and we hope to see you on Thursday. But for now, we'll say good night from St. Catharines.